Hello, hello, hello. All right, so I'm just trying to get set up so that I can do a thing to get us like watching the Cricut screen. So I'm just working on getting signed in here, but I figured I may as well come on because I'm trying to get it to actually be a, oh my goodness, words, you know, a stream. I promise I had a coffee, but apparently it's not going to help right now. Also, that light is creating like a light flare on my face. Okay, I think we're almost there. It's just thinking I should, as long as everything's in uploads, this should work fine. But I don't know. We'll find out in a minute, I guess. No, I don't need studio mode on. It is taking forever to load. My goodness. Okay, let's actually try closing it, and then I will reopen it. It already did its like download. If it doesn't work this time, then we will yes, I want to quit. I already told you I wanted to quit. Now open, please. If it doesn't work this time, then we'll just go into sewing because we've got pockets to put onto interiors, which is super exciting. Actually, no, we've got pockets to top stitch. I guess realistically we could do that while I'm waiting to see if this loads or not. Just thinking about it. Thinking. You already installed updates. I wonder if it requires a like computer restart or something like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's get set up so that we can actually do sewing. Hey, okay, there we go. Now we're good. No, I don't want to pay for Cricut access. I'm just going to make sure that I've got uploads here. Oh, that would be cute too. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, sweet. So let me see if I can actually get, now I need to go into studio mode, and then I need to get in and do this, and then I need this, sources, then I need to select the actual window. Why can't I select? Ugh, well, that's annoying. Okay, I wonder. So window capture an application window. Let's open on your computer. That should be it. Add source. Settings. Show windows with empty names. I wish I could just like click on it to actually be able to use it. Ahaha. Sweet, there we go. Okay, so this should actually bring it up, and then we're going to just shrink it so it's not taking up the whole window, because otherwise you're not going to be able to see anything, and that's no fun. Okay, and then we will blank out one of them, because otherwise you're going to end up, there we go. Now, can I, oh, you can't actually change the size of it. Lovely. Well, that's useless. Oh, that's because that one needs to get out of here. Okay. Yes, I want to remove that Cricut one. I want this Cricut one, and I want to make it smaller. Let me make it smaller, or else you're not, like, people can't see it. Oh, dear. Okay, so what happens if I click on it? I can't actually see, because, of course, it takes over my whole screen. There we go. Ever a learning curve, right? When is this never not a learning curve? Okay, we're going to move this down so that it's not like in front. So it's going to be behind the webcam. Oh my goodness. Cricut. Now I want to shrink it, please. You're super close to being the right size, but you're not quite. There. my goodness, it's so picky. Okay, let me see if I make this larger, if it's gonna work. Come learn how to like put a screen capture on Streamlabs apparently. My goodness. Okay, there we go. Weird. Okay, I'm gonna make it like that, and then you'll be able to see it actually, the full amount instead of me blocking a bunch of stuff. Okay, transition. Here we go. Hello? Why isn't it showing it on stream? I don't get it. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay. Sweet. I gotta shrink this window back down. Exit full screen. Perfect. Now I can see that it is working. So what we're gonna go in and do is we're going to make okay, so what I did is I took a bunch of scraps. Here, I'll show you what I actually did if I can find it. Anyway, I made big sheets of scraps that I put onto interfacing, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to put it onto the actual sheet. And I like that size because our sheet is like 12 by 7. Okay, so what size is this? 3.75 by 5.85. So we need to do 17 divided by 5.85 means I could do 2.9. So let's make that like a little bit smaller. Let's make this like 5 inches tall. I'm gonna make it 5 inches tall, and then that's going to lock it in at 3.2 because 12 divided by 3.2 is 3.75. So that gives us lots of room. So now we're going to copy and paste, and then we're going to actually flip this one horizontally. The key to this tutorial was the fact that we were going to flip it. Now we're going to lay it out on a 12 by 24 mat. So we're going to go copy. Oh, apparently I can't do that. Copy? No, okay. So we can do 1, 2, 3. And then what did we decide we could do with 5? 17 divided by 5. 17 divided by 5 is 3.4. So about 17 divided by 5.25 is 3.2. So let's actually make these, what did I just do? 5.25 times 5.25. Okay, yeah, let's do 5.25 because then I get a little, like you get a little bit more. So 5.2, nope, not that big. 5.25. And you also need to become 5.25. There we go. And then 3.365 should still allow us to put 3 across on the 12 inch. So 12 divided by 3.4 essentially. Yeah, we can still put 3 across. Okay. So we want to copy, paste. Okay. And then we want to copy. Okay, so if we can do, I keep forgetting how many we can do down. 0.25, 17 divided by 5.25 is 3 rows of 3. So we can do 9 total. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, because then they're matched. And then we're going to do 1 more this direction and 1 more this direction. Now we can go in and make and like arrange them, or it auto arranges everything for me actually. And we're good. So this drops just below 16. We're good up there. It's going to make it as tight as possible. That's super cool. So basically what we're doing here is we're going in and we're making little ornaments with these guys, and hopefully, actually this tail isn't going to be very good. I need more of like a walking cat SVG, I guess, because like this tail is going to get in the way unless I'm just doing ornaments from these guys. I could just do ornaments from these guys. Yeah, let's just do ornaments with these guys. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Right? I've got enough. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, and then I've got a spare, right? Because we have 9 instead of 8. Okay. So I'll need to cut 2 of these. Oh, I'm being dumb. No, I don't need to do this. I need to go back, cancel, and just do these all. Okay. Z, 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 Z. There we go. Z. Come on, let me scroll up. Bah. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, so we need to do copy 2, 3. Okay, so we just need to do 3 of these guys. 9 of these guys. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because that's how many can fit on the 12 by 17. And then what we'll do is we'll go in and so we'll cut 1 normal and then we'll cut 1 mirrored. Easy. That's way easier. Okay, so let's actually save this as a so we're going to save this as an ornament cat for felt backing. We're going to call these ornaments. Save. Okay, and then we're going to go into home and we're going to see what else do I have. Because uptail cats, yeah, uptail cat's actually probably going to be better, this guy. Because here's the thing. I don't want photos. Let me make it. No, not that far. My stuff. Anyway, uptail cat might be easier because what I want to do is I want to be able to stick like a paper clip in here so that it'll sit on a desk. I think this one's going to work well. So this is 4.52 by 4.75, which means 17 divided by 4.52 is 3.7. So maybe we'll reduce this to like 4. And then 4.21, so 12 divided by 4.21 is 2.8. So actually, yeah. So we'll go 3.95. Yeah, 3.75 wide. And then 3.57 should allow us to put like 5. Almost 5. Okay. And you may be like, Katie, why is this so tight? And that's because the width of the stuff is like 17 inches. So we're just going with 17. Let's hide. So how many can I actually fit? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, and there's still 2 here. So I can fit 12. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, there we go. So I can delete the rest of these. Delete, 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 delete. I have a feeling I over deleted. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. And then it'll auto arrange for me. We're well above that 17-inch line, which is awesome because we can actually, oh, never mind. And then, yeah, we'll cut one of these and then we'll cut another in a mirror and that will work really, really well. So let's, I've got 3 mats that are available right now that I can do this on. We'll let it cut and then we will go through and we will pull them off. Now the mats are on the floor, so I'm just going to bring the whole laptop with me and you can come chill with me while we get these cutting. You're not going to be able to see much besides me, but you know, I am obviously the star of the show, so you know. And then these will need to be swapped out each time that they finish cutting, but that's okay. And I also need a pair of shears to trim down some of the little bit, like there was some excess that needed to happen to make sure that like all of the interfacing got covered, and that's fine too. All right, come on down with me. And then the Cricut's already on. I think I need to swap the blade. Let's double check. Oh, 100%. That is a normal blade, and we need a fabric blade. Okay, let's pick. That was probably really loud. Let's pick you back up though, and we'll go get a fabric blade. So I think we're gonna do this uptail cat first and see where we get to. And then basically there'll probably be felt in between the tail and the body of the cat. Oh, where did they go? They were on my dresser. What did I do with my blades? Well, it's not the end of the world if I have to cut it with the regular blade, but that... I thought I'd put them in the, if they aren't in there, they should be in here in the, thing that's here. Fuck. The, sorry. The, pegboardy thing. Bin system. Did I put them in here? No, I did not. Oh, that... Dallas is having to tidy up with the kids upstairs, so they're probably getting into stuff. Okay, where did I put those? Did I maybe move them over? Aha, I found it. There we go. There it is. All right. So there is the... Okay, and it's got a blade in it. Good. That's the other important bit here, is it needs the blade. Okay, now we're gonna pop the blade out and swap it to the fabric blade housing. It's one of the things that would be nice actually about the newer... Oh, okay, I don't know what it's supposed to go to anymore. I'm gonna have to look that up actually, because there's like different cutting weights that need to be done to actually be able to cut fabric. So let's see what level to put Cricut 2 on for fabric cutting. Ba, ba, ba. The Explorer, not the Maker. Okay, it's bonded. Use a rotary cutter. Done. We need to actually get in and do... Oh, okay, I think that actually I just do it on Design Space. I tell it that what we're cutting on. Maybe. That's not right. Okay, so if we click continue. Yes, we wanted to use Bluetooth, please. Oh, I guess it might help if I actually turn it on. And it's not ready to cut. Yes, I want to cancel this cut. Okay. Are we connected? Okay, we'll make sure it gets connected and then we'll get the actual it all set up. I'm going to trim down the ends here that are extra. Yeah, a lot of this is not very well adhered. But I also only had a pair of like kitchen shears to actually turn this down when I was upstairs. So let's turn this down, and then we can always, the cats don't all have to be perfect. So after this, they're actually going to go under onto my domestic machine, and we're going to actually embroidery stitch them down. So that's going to be fun. It'll be something different. And that's what I mean, that they're more ornaments than anything else. So, yeah. Okay, so that should work. Okay, so this is not everyday iron-on. This is fabric, and we're doing bonded. Fusible fabric. That's not Cricut though. I'm doing like cotton. No materials found. Okay. Cardstock. Okay, so we're just going to say that it is. It's not burlap. Canvas, denim, faux leather, faux suede, fusible. Let's go with fusible fabric because I have interfacing on the back to fuse it. Hello, we are working on a little bit of a different project right now. On my quest to scrap bust, we are actually using up some scraps today. And I'm trying to just get it onto my Cricut so that we can get it cut and going. It's not going to be perfect because they're scraps, and that's fine. But I think this should work. Okay. I hope this works. I have cut fabric with my Cricut before. Again, if it doesn't come out perfect, whatever, it's scraps. We're just trying to use up stuff. All right. I'm gonna load the mat. And why, yes, you are sitting on the floor with me right now because we are just running the Cricut on the floor today. Because why not? May as well. The kids aren't down here. And I just realized that this should actually be trimmed down maybe a bit up here. Yeah, some of this maybe does need to be adhered a bit better, but which end was better adhered? This one has a big like crumple on the end, so I don't really want it to cut too much down there. It's not going to cut on there because that's all hanging over the edge. We're good. Let's go with we're good. I'll just make sure that it is flat underneath when it goes under. No, load it in. Thank you. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if it will cut. Load a fine point blade and press go. All right, so what it's doing right now is it's doing that, and then I'll turn you around so you can actually see the Cricut down here. So we've loaded up this like sheet of fabric. We're gonna cut this one, and then we'll cut a mirrored version of this afterwards. I'm going to observe at least this first cut. Yeah, so there's where it wasn't very well adhered. So we're gonna end up with some cats that aren't very good. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up to cut twice. Ooh, yeah, that's really not. Whoops. I did adhere it from both sides simply because I figured that this is something that would happen, but you know. Oh well, whatever. This is a learning curve for sure. Oh God. Nope. Okay, so I think it's better adhered down here, but that basically tells me that I need to go back in on my other couple sheets that I have here and make sure that everything like is really well adhered before we even start. And then to trim any of these like loose pieces. It is also probably why it was suggested that you cut these out by hand in the tutorial that I've been inspired by as well. So I guess that's something we could always do too, is I could cut out like the template and then we could just cut these by hand. I just was trying to like skip a step. Which, to be fair, this should do it, but that's also human error of you got to make sure that these are well adhered. Not doing too bad though, all things considered, so we'll see how many I can actually salvage from this. probably not many. Or any. Well, I'm usually very careful that I do adhere these fabrics, especially when you're doing like the appliques and stuff like that. Whoops. But obviously, because the scraps aren't going to be perfect, so I was trying to fill as much space as I could. So another good lesson is that they need to be straight edges on all of these scraps so that I don't end up running over the, like, they just get to abut each other instead of actually, like, yeah, they'll just abut each other instead of overlapping. So that's an important lesson as well. So I think with these ones, what we'll do is we will, what should I do with these? I think with these guys, we will go in and we will just cut them by hand. That's what we're going to do, as suggested by the pattern. And the next round, we will experiment with this again, because I think it's still a really good idea, but obviously needs a little bit better execution. And that's fine. Better to learn on scraps than full pieces of fabric even. All right, let's see what we got. I don't think we got any full cats out of that cut. That's hilarious. All right, so we're gonna peel. Oh, maybe we did. We're close enough. Even if we get some close enough, that would be perfect. There's no, oh my goodness. That one got a like, yeah, I almost should have made it do 2 passes. So I'll remember that too, because of course these are all different like weights and everything like that. So some of them are heavier and need more cutting power than others as well. Let's see what we got here. Some of them did pretty damn good. So if I take some shears in, I might be able to salvage them. That one's not cut at all. Okay, let's just pull it off and then see where, oh yeah, and then there's some that's like, it is. Okay. No, that didn't cut at all. So this was pretty much a fail. I'm going to count that as a fail, and honestly, that's fine. Like I said, this was mostly an experiment to see if this would even work on the Cricut. This looks like I might be able to get this one here. If I just basically, I think if I take it off the paper backing, we'll be fine. Then it's going to, yeah, there we go. So this is Heat and Bond Light as well, because I need to be able to sew over it. Oh yeah, look at that. So the problem there is that because it overlapped, the fabric is lifting right here. Now that'll be fixed when I actually stitch it. So this one makes the cut. I'm going to trim it down right there with the shears. Hopefully, maybe I can get it kind of opened up here, and then I can follow it with the shears here, and we'll see, like that. I just don't want to cut the paper with my fabric shears, because that is a surefire way to get them dull extremely fast. Okay, so that, like that, and it needs to come up here. Ah, I see. So it basically, because it wasn't on the cut line, there we go. Okay. So there's one cat. We'll say that that's a good one. That's a good one. So we can hear that to the felt, and then I'll be able to go in and embroider it down, basically, is what's going to happen. Okay, it looks like we got a second one here. Maybe. At least most of a second one. Okay, this one I am going to cut the paper too, because it does add some stability to actually being able to pull this apart and like adhere it to the next round of stuff without damaging the actual like fabric. Now, the rest of these scraps are just going to be garbage at this point because it's like, oh, okay. Okay, and then this one is missing a bit of a tail. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to curve that. Oh, no, because we want to be able to back it with another one that's the same. Never mind. Okay, and then we're going to cut around. So one thing is to double cut it next time and make sure everything is adhered down. So my scraps I'll need to cut them straight, basically. Okay, there we go. Or at least make sure there's not as much, like, as much overlap, I guess. Okay, so the one thing about this is I do need to cut some mirrored of these because these won't be able to go back to back. Okay, let's see if there's any others that I can salvage. That one looks like I probably could, mostly. Okay, where's the end of your tail? There's the end of your tail. There we go. All right, and then you need to be cut down your back. And then we're gonna, oh no, it didn't adhere correctly down there. Okay, so I think we're gonna be able to salvage, oh, maybe 3. Yeah, 3. This one is salvageable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these mostly as also stencils, and then we can draw what we want to do onto the back of the other ones that need to be cut for now, and then we will sort this out later. Okay, there we go. That one looks actually pretty good. I'm gonna cut this. And now that we've kind of failed this experiment, and that's fine, we are going to go sew pockets for the Kato. Yeah, that one got nowhere near cut properly. What about you? You got mangled. All right, they're all pretty mangled. Okay, so the other option is I could, well, I definitely need to re-adhere everything. I wonder if another option would be to turn the fabric upside down and cut basically from the front, or the back. So cut through the paper first. That might be the better option, actually. So let's check this to see if this fabric is adhered fairly well. And then, like on this next one. And then we'll see. So I've got 3. That's better than nothing, at least. Be good to be able to get like a full set to them. So let's try fabric down with 2 passes. That's one of the things we'll do instead. And the fabric down is so like if the fabric isn't perfectly adhered, we hopefully can still be able to like actually salvage it. Because I think this one is better adhered than that one was. Let's see. Which one of you, yeah, you're better adhered, I think, overall, except for the very edge, and that's fine because we're not cutting right to the very edge. Got some loose stuff here we could trim up still. There we go. And this that could kind of be trimmed there. Should almost go in and like embroider it before I cut it, but that would add a lot of like loose thread ends that we would have to deal with then instead. Okay, so there it is. We're going to try it this way, and we're going to do 2 passes, I think. Actually, we're also going to turn the pressure up a little bit so that hopefully what it does is it is able to cut it a bit better. Okay, so let's pop that in like this. Go in. And even if we just get 3 from this one for this, that would be amazing. All right, come up, my pretties. Hi. So we're working on a new kind of like ornaments sort of thing. Okay, we're gonna go more. And then I think let's say it's canvas because like it's all different weights sort of thing. And let's just try that and see if that works better this time. We got the fine point blade. That's fine. Speed is automatically set for this material. All right, let's try this again. I'm gonna show you the Cricut again. So basically what we're doing is we're doing a cut of the bonded fabric and everything like that. And so this is kind of what we're going for. We got these little cats. They're going to be adhered to some like stiff felt, and then we're going to go in and, oh God, no. No, cancel. Ah! Cancel. Yes, I want to cancel this cut. Ah! No, that definitely didn't work. Okay, so let's put it, let's turn it this way. And we'll try it this way. Whew. All right, that almost went extremely terribly. I think we're okay on this side. I think, well, we're better off on this one because there is less loose fabric than there was on the other one. Okay, so let's load it. Go. And then we're going to mirror it because we need to mirror it for the, so that it matches with the other ones, or is like counter to the other ones, even though we only got 3. That's fine. Okay, let's try that and see. I'm already connected. What are you talking about? Okay, browse all materials. We are going to do fabric. And we're going to say it's canvas. And we're going to do more pressure. Okay, go. All right, so hopefully that works a bit better. Let's see here. Ooh, yeah, no. Okay, well, we'll see what we can get out of these, and then we know better now that we need to definitely just, I think, probably take the bigger heat press and actually press it before I cut it. That's fine. That's what we're here to do, is to learn. It's annoying. Ugh, yeah, because I got completely crunched going through there. So there's probably not much, if anything, salvageable from that. I don't even know if these are super salvageable, but we'll try. Could also be the extra pressure on it is actually not good for it. I don't know. Although realistically, the cotton linen really does have the same hand as a, yeah, no, it's mad. Okay. It's like, this is gonna get stuck, lady. All right. So we will say no to this one for now, and we'll come back to it. And we can always do hand cut later. But, oh my goodness. Okay, I do think that there's at least one in here that we can use. Very crunchy crunched, but there is one. There we go. Nope. Is that one? Kinda, but not really. All right. Fail. That's okay. I know I keep saying that and it sounds like it's not okay, but it is totally okay. We're just going to trim this down. And then we will throw it back under the heat press later. And then we will try again, because that's all we can do. If this turns out that it's easier to do with some of the like stuff I already have, like the, yeah. It is annoying, but we will figure it out. It definitely needs to go back under the heat press and get pressed again. And then obviously I think we need to just make sure that these are all very straight lines, or else I'm going to end up with like that jamming up the Cricut again. So it failed this today, which is annoying because it was a lot of work. But hey, I used up a bunch of scraps, so. All right, so that is all garbage. That's all right. It's going to end up in the garbage sooner or later anyway, if I didn't try something, whether I tried something with it or not. Ooh. Dallas is upstairs reorganizing the garage. So if you hear some thumping and bumping and screeching, it's shelves getting moved around. Okay, so that will all just stay here for a minute, because I'm not going to go over and, oh right, you're not connected anyway, so I could throw it in the garbage. Meh, whatever. Okay, so those go down here for now. The thing about it too is that actually I have to hand cut the felt, because the felt is too thick to go through the Cricut. So I think we'll just get better at hand cutting all of that. All right, well, experiment time is over, and now we're going to go in and sew pockets for the Kato, because that is actually what I'm here to do today. Okay. Sorry, I haven't been able to see the chat, so if you've thrown anything, yeah, I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. It's like they would, even if I hadn't done it that way, they would have just been going to waste anyway. Okay, so that's the webcam. We're going to start the collab cam. And I'm going to throw you on to intermission so that I can get the camera set up without making anyone nauseous, hopefully. All right. And yeah, the whole point of that one is to use up scraps. So it's like, well, if they get wasted, they get wasted, whatever. Okay. Yes, I know I'm going to join my stream. Let's join. Mute the mic. You don't need two mics. And then we'll throw it around like this. So we are working through the Kato that I'd cut previously that didn't get finished for Airdrie. Because I have a pop-up with Ancient Arts Yarns on February 10th. So I'm just going to make sure that this is actually looking good. Be good if I actually start the collab cam here, show on stream. Looks like the camera's actually dirty, or it had something in the way. So yeah, so we're actually going through, not quite timeout box, but at least a bunch of the whips that would be normally sitting around for the rest of the year anyway. So, although I was looking at like the, my leather like lace, and I'm like, oh, I hope I have enough to actually like finish these. So I was looking at it last night, like, is this black enough? Because it needs to be mostly black lacing. So I think it is. And if it's not, we're going to pretend it is. That's where we're at. But now I know one of the big supply orders I need to do post pop-up with Ancient Arts Yarns. And yes, I know I said that I was going to do an update, but Caroline asked me to do the pop-up like very abruptly. So I decided I'm going to hold off on the update until after the pop-up now. But that means that will be to your benefit in some ways, because then there'll be Kato in that too. And I am still sorting out, and actually I did work out because I opened up scrap bags to test those scrap cuts. And the awesome thing is that there was more like strips and stuff like that that I can actually use for the book sleeves, because I did test out the book sleeve last week and it turned out so well. The only thing I'm gonna swap, well, the dimensions have to change just a tick. A little bit taller and a little bit less wide, which is fine. That's easy to fix. And I'm going to swap from fusible foam to fusible fleece, mostly because the fusible foam is pretty pricey. And fusible fleece will be less bulky, which will, like, it'll still protect the book, but it won't be so, like, stiff in some ways. Fusible foam has its place. It is not in book sleeves, apparently. Anyway, so I think what we'll do is I'll go in and we'll do a bunch of scrap sewing there as well. It's basically just going to be crazy quilting, but not quite quilting, because I won't be quilting it to the fabric. And then we'll patchwork a bunch together, and then we'll cut down the patchwork into actual book sleeves once I get the dimensions figured out, which should be fairly soon, hopefully. Should I be working on taxes? Yes. Am I? No. The excuse I'm using right now is that my desk is actually a disaster. It's like got all the sorting stuff still on it. But everything is gathered up. I've got all the receipts, so that's good. And that is like a huge step. And then the other big thing I gotta do is figure out how much I sold last year. It's a bunch of math now. Actually, I think I did most of the tallies of how much I sold last year when I did the like bestseller lists before Christmas. So I think we're pretty much set there, but I still have to do the math. And so far so good. We are getting all our shows lined up. The only one I haven't been flat out accepted for was Odafest, and that's not very surprising. It is very popular. I am on the wait list, so that's good at least. So I still have a fairly high chance of actually getting into the event, which is fine. But I will be up at Peace Fiber Festival April 28th. That's in Dawson Creek, BC. And I'll also be at Fiber Shindig in Calgary on April 6th. And then I think there are rumors, I don't know, but there were rumors at least last year that Caroline was going to do a second Stampede breakfast this year. So I guess we'll find out fairly soon about that as well. Yeah, the most annoying thing about the scraps not working is that, like, the time put into it. But if you don't put time into stuff, you don't know what's gonna work, really. I guess. Katie's philosophical way of dealing with disappointment. I think they're just gonna have to be hand cut. So maybe what I should do is I should go in with the like Cricut and draw on the back of it, so that then I don't like have to do that, and it's a lot more precise, and then my cutting lines can be less precise. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Because really I was trying to cheat it by cutting it like that, so. So we've sewn all the Kato pockets. What I'm doing right now is I'm just top stitching them so that they remain nice inside the Kato bag. Yeah, that's it. And then after this, they'll get installed into the actual bags, interiors. So we'll have a bunch of chaos in that I don't know. I won't know which interior goes with what bag, etc. Once we pull apart all our nice little packages. There's going to be even some debate right now because it's like, all right, what was your actual pockets? If I was smart, I would go back and watch my own videos, but who has the time for that? It'll still be faster for me just to make educated guesses. So if you see some shuffle around, you didn't. Or at least don't tell me. Some of them are pretty obvious, some of them are not. We have gotten quite a bit of tidying done though, because I did get the dressers done yesterday, and the trunk is up on the dresser, which is awesome. Worked out perfectly actually. It was like it was meant to be for space wise. And at least with that's like the scraps that I did use up were about 400 grams worth of scraps, so that's exciting too. Go. Well, between that and like getting more strips to go in for book sleeves and stuff like that, it's good. And actually pieced like planner pouches would be really cute too, probably. So we might do a bunch of like patchwork into whole cloth and then cut it up for a bunch of different projects. And we probably, I was just thinking, we probably will actually put it onto just some normal batting. A, it's cheaper. And B, I may as well do it that way because then I could crazy quilt it. And then cut it down. Because realistically then, although then you have batting in the seams. Although I don't feel like that would be that bad. Or we could sew it onto fusible interfacing. Which then you could fuse easily and then put batting onto it. One of those two options might work. The benefit to sewing it onto an interfacing being that then they don't all have to match very much. You can kind of do more of a crazy quilt easier. Well, realistically, it's probably pretty easy and straightforward anyway. My thing that always just ends up happening is I end up with like analysis paralysis and like, do these go together well enough and does it look cohesive enough? And we're just going to ignore that with this one. It's going to be a reach into the bin and sew it, I think, because otherwise I will just freeze and nothing will get done. And since we're trying to scrap bust, that doesn't work. That is the end of that bobbin thread. So what I promised myself when I finished this bobbin thread, I would actually change the needle as well because I think it's getting a little bit dull. I'll double check. No, it's good. One more bobbin. And actually, I'm surprised. I don't think I've hit the bin maybe that has like the majority of the nearly dones. There's definitely been some things, like there's a lot of cuts that are already done that like I can use to make more bags, but there's not a lot of bags that are like, this is nearly done and not like only partially finished. So most of the stuff that I've encountered so far is stuff that's been just like, mostly cut. It's not even partially finished. So that's kind of heartening that I don't have too much kind of leftovers right now. I don't know how that happened, or like I said, I think maybe most of it is that I just haven't hit the bin that they're in yet. So. All right. Our youngest has started officially preschool with our eldest, and they are, well, they enjoyed yesterday. Apparently they were hugging every kid as they were leaving, which is totally a hang on from like day home days. Still sad to leave the day home on Monday. It's like, we know this is a good move, but my goodness, we were all sad. Maybe not so much the kiddo, but definitely all the adults were like, oh man. But now they can both be dropped off at 7:30, which means that like my training basically like that is gives me back the training time without actually disrupting my work time. So I'm going to end up with basically an extra half hour to 45 minutes of actual work time every day. So, and they'll be able to do summer camp. Like both of them are already in for summer camp basically this summer too. So that's good. So what I do is I usually do tuck the bottom seam line, kind of gets pushed up a little bit into the pocket. So basically I'm just making sure that it is flattened out more or less and even, and then I go in and top stitch it. Should these be pressed? Probably. Will they be pressed? No. And they'll be fine. But yes, this is also good because honestly right now my cutting table is also a disaster. I am overwhelmed by the mess in my studio right now. So as much as I did get some stuff done yesterday, I'm like, oh, there's still so much to do. All in due time. Make sure that the seam line runs the right way. And Dallas and I did look at it. And if we can swing it, I think we're all going to Japan next year. Because he really wants to go to the Osaka Marathon. And it's also been like, he will have been out of Japan as long or longer than I was between my exchange and when we returned actually. So yeah, so he really, 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 really wants to go. So we're going to try and swing it. I was actually looking at the cost comparison and it's ridiculous. It is, basically it's just flights that make the biggest cost difference for us to go, which is ridiculous since like if we go, we'll end up going for extra time and everything like that. But it seems like you get a better deal on the hotels maybe. Now this is all based on like this year's prices. So I don't know what it's going to do for next year, but I'm like, okay, I think we can swing it. Also lights a fire under my butt to make sure that I'm doing business stuff so that I can actually go buy more fabric without feeling guilty about it. So if you know of anyone in your area that you want to like have as a retailer, please let me know and I will send them some info hopefully or get in contact with them. And this means like local yarn store sort of thing. We've also decided that we are going to reclaim the whole basement and put the door back up. So the cat litter boxes are down in the washroom down here. And one of my goals has been that we move their litter boxes out of the washroom because I want to be able to use the washroom down here. It'd be nice. And all that. But it was like, where do we move them in this house? There's not a lot of spaces for them. So Dallas has said he's actually going to build a like litter box basically up in our mudroom, or what we call the mudroom. It's basically the entrance off the garage, which means that we'll be able to put the door back on the basement and keep them actually closed out, which will be really good. And it'll also be good for streaming because I'll be able to close it and like yeah, I'll be able to close the door and it'll just be nice because it's like when Dahlia's being a pest and stuff like that, then I can close her out upstairs and not have to like deal with it as much. And exactly, yeah, we've got a good idea of how much it's going to cost, which is the main goal. And it's like how then we'll plan in the buffer and stuff. And there'll be a few weird things, like we'll make sure we buy luggage for the kids sort of stuff. But that's stuff that like can be planned for throughout the year sort of thing. But it's kind of like, if we can do a trip with 2 toddlers and in-laws, my in-laws, Dallas's parents, I'm pretty sure we can do a trip to Japan too. Because the other thing is like, are we mentally able to do it as well? I think we're good. The most terrifying part of it is that still a 6-hour cutoff for Kyoto. It's really tempting to apply for Osaka simply because it's like Osaka is like a 7-hour cutoff. And I know for sure I can do 7 hours. But the other part of that is that if I don't sign up for it, I won't do the training to get down to 6 hours either. So we'll see. It does give me a goal for like training for May. I was out yesterday for my long run, and I'm going to swap this out, but I was doing like a really, really low cardio, like as easy as you can do and still be in a cardio zone basically. And it was so slow. I was just like, oh my goodness. Now, the other crazy part of it is that the actual like average for that pace was lower than a lot of my training runs last summer. So there has been improvements. I need to start keeping like a proper journal of the actual improvements, because sometimes it's really hard to see. But what I want to kind of do is I'll start a journal of like what my average pace was and other like relevant information, maybe like what my watch said my average heart rate was or something like that, because being able to see that as it improves is like huge, because I'm definitely also like running faster than I was when I first started running. So having like a cumulative overview would be really cool, I think. Now I just need to start doing it instead of talking about it, but again, in due time it'll happen. And the other thing though about the cost is it's like, I really liked the hotel that I stayed at with Caroline in May in Tokyo. So I was like, okay, let's go stay there. And we got a killer deal on it. So it must have just been when I booked it, but we ended up paying for 3 nights what I'm looking at to pay if we were to stay there. I don't think we're going to, because I'm like, no. It's too much. But yeah, I think it was like looking like the cost of 3 nights that I had booked for us in May would be about the same cost as 1 night for all 4 of us in like February. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So actually it's nuts, but one of our favorite chains in Japan is actually the Comfort hotels, because typically they have like breakfast and everything like that included as well. So it'll be, I think that's, and they didn't used to have any in Kyoto, and then they've actually built a bunch, and there's one that's like right beside the temple that we go for temple market and stuff. So I think that'll be where we actually end up staying. It's like the most moderate in the Kyoto area, and it's right behind like the main train station, and just super good access. Or at least the prices on it right now are really good for like this year. Looking at it for like ahead as far as I can, it's still pretty pricey. And when I'm saying pricey, it's like going from like $70 to $80 right now. If I was to book for February now this year, when I was looking last week, it was like $80 for 4 people, not including breakfast. Breakfast was available, I think, for $100 for the room sort of thing. But the cost in like November right now, probably because it's so far out, and so they're like, okay, this is primo costs because you're booking way out, is like $350 for a Comfort, and I'm like, I don't want to spend that much either, especially when I'm seeing it for like $80 to $100 right now. So, But there are a few options. Dallas pointed out that we could always stay at the hotel that we stayed at when we first went there too, which usually averages about $100 a night, which is not bad. And it would put us right in between Kyoto and Osaka, which would also be really good. So it's in Hirakashi, down by its train station. Yes, actually, they do serve. Yeah, it's nuts. They have like Japanese food. They actually, so we used to stay at one in Shinsaibashi that was a walking distance to the pneumatic tube shop in Osaka. And it had like the little mini wieners, which are very specific to Japan, like cocktail wieners for breakfast. And then they would have tamago, so the sweetened omelet, miso, rice, apples, and like, yeah. So, and then a pretty good mix of like Western and Japanese foods as well. So like scrambled eggs and things like that. But it was always like really good too on top of it. So like for an included breakfast, it's usually pretty satisfying. I'm not too fussed either way if we book it or we don't. The nice thing about having it in the hotel is that we wouldn't have to go very far with the kids. But there is also like another breakfast place right by the station that would be good enough and probably about the same cost as adding it onto the hotel. So although that is a good point, it would probably be a good idea to do breakfast at the Comfort because it is usually a good mix of Western and Japanese, so the kids would probably eat really well there too. I'm not too worried about them eating in Japan. I was talking to my youngest. We took them out for sushi on Wednesday because it was like their last day with just us. Because now they're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday school. And they had like, so we went out for sushi. And then I was talking to them about sushi today. And they're like, I like sushi. Ridiculously adorable. So yeah, I'm not too worried about feeding the kids there, but breakfast would be one of the harder ones because it would be out of the kind of like palette that we have in Canada typically. Although maybe they would love it too because it's like it's kind of like almost like a sweet savory. Or at least the place I'm thinking of, you can do more savory, which would be delicious. I want breakfast there again, so I guess the question would also be, it's like, do I have to only prepay for breakfast? Or could we pay for it as we go, like if we want to eat breakfast there? So that would be something I maybe need to find out is like, is it available kind of a la carte? And so we can do what we want throughout the week and not always be tied down to Comfort breakfasts. Because obviously we don't want to have to double pay and not use it if we want to eat something else. So maybe that's something I will find out, because I have to say that, so at this place that I'm thinking about in Kyoto, it's called Yayoi-ken. It's on the back of the train station. Breakfast is like $10 for an adult. And like good portion sizes, all of that. Satisfying. It's rice and like you can get fried chicken and stuff. It's just really good. Their coffee, it comes in itty bitty little cups. Like I'm talking like, I'm probably like a half shot kind of mug sort of thing, but it is some of the best coffee I've ever had in Japan. It's $1 a piece, 100 yen. So right now it's not even $1 a piece Canadian. It's like 95 cents. And so good. Although after the first morning when I saw just the one, I was like, okay, I'm going to just order 2 from the start so that I get like a proper cup of coffee before we get on with our day. Yeah. I think that is one thing maybe the Comfort might have on it, is that it would have unlimited coffee basically. All right, we are done top stitching the pockets. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and do the things that we need to do with them to put them into the bags, which means putting them into the interiors. I promise. Actually, I can't promise. That is how my brain's working right now. Never mind. So now if there are times outs for this one, it will be because I run out of leather lace, and that is totally on me with my supply chain, which means that we'll finish what we can, and then I'll be ordering lace, and that'll be easy enough to fix once it comes in. So there'll be a bunch more, if depending on if we can get them finished or not, sort of thing. Also gives me a better idea of maybe how much lace I need to order for the year as well, if I order it all at once, or yeah, probably most of it all at once, because it ships out of the States. It is from a small business in the States, and but that makes shipping expensive. So not insane for what it is, because they all come on little spools, but they are expensive. I've been trying to figure out who their like supplier is, because it's made in India, but I cannot find it, and I'm annoyed. It's like, if I could like reduce, like, leather is not cheap. As soon as you start to talk leather, and like, I think it instantly adds like $1 per square inch to something. So any cost savings I can get, I will try to get with leather. All right. That's a good idea too. Eating on the go in Japan is a little bit difficult. The other part of this is that I really, really like to go to the convenience stores and get snacks there, because it's Japan. And when like, yeah, and takeout in Japan is like, it's a very different concept from here. Like, apparently it is actually a fully different license to actually be able to even have like takeout available, which is something I learned because like over the pandemic, obviously, or over like everything that's been happening. Sorry, there's been stuff happening if you mention it on YouTube, so I'm trying to avoid that. Anyway, since 2020, there has been a lot more places doing like takeout and stuff like that, obviously. So it has shifted, but yeah, apparently it's like completely different business licenses and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. So the problem would be like packing it up. So you'd almost have to like bring stuff to pack it in, and then it would, that takes up a lot of room. But that's the other factor too, is that like I can definitely feed us for the same price at this Yayoi Ken. So you get a nice sit down, warm or hot meal, and then like coffee and all of that. But then the other factor of this is that I can feed us for cheaper. Can I feed us for under $20 at the convenience store? Yes, I can, including coffee. So there's that too. It's like, then we wouldn't have to be spending $20 on breakfast alone every single day, when we can go and spend like, I don't know, and I'm not talking like insane amounts of savings. I'm talking like 12 to 15 bucks sort of thing. So $5 to $8 savings, but that would still cover our snacks then for the day as well. And we could do some grocery shopping and things like that and get some fruit for the kids and such, because I think that'll be where one of those factors that we have to take into account that needs to be that would need to be done. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking that it's yeah, so there's two different like, okay, previously Comfort Inn did just like include their breakfast, but the ones in Kyoto are charging like a room only rate, and then they're charging a breakfast rate, and the breakfast rate is about $20 a day, which realistically isn't that bad for 4 people. So what, $5 each? But ish, obviously, given exchange rates and everything like that. But I'm just curious now if like, I don't mind that, but I would like to eat out of the hotel a couple times at least. So I'm just curious if like we could pay for it a la carte, because I know that most of the hotels do allow that, but because I haven't had the option of not having breakfast at Comfort, like having it as a separate line item basically, if that would be something like, can you just go pay for it on the day of, like, hey, I want to eat at the Comfort today. Can we just pay for it now? I don't know. So I think I'll email them and I'll find that out, because why not? It's not like that's hard to figure out before we travel, and that can also inform our decision then too. If we can pay for it a la carte, perfect. That's just what we'll do. All right, I'm gonna pop this one on here. And then as long as the kids aren't having one of their days and they actually eat, we will be good. We are going to, so the Japan Rail Pass is one of the things that has gone up the most amount of money. So for like a 2-week pass, it's gone up. I think it went up 30% in the regular car. We're not doing, so there's like different classes of cars on the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. And there's the regular car, and then there's the green car. And we have in the past done the green car. It's a little bit quieter, not as busy. It's only like 2 seats instead of 3 seats across, or like a 2 and 2 setup rather than a 3 and 2 setup. But with the kids, yeah, the green car is more like for business travelers or solo, like couples and solo travelers. It's really good, like for me, because it isn't as busy. But it's gotten way too expensive to buy the JR pass for it. So if we do that, like if I go solo trip again, I'm just going to be buying tickets by themselves. And although this trip, we're like right on the edge of whether it's worth it or not. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to factor in the convenience of the fact that we can, and obviously this has to be a factor anyway, but we're factoring in the fact that we don't have to go to the train station to actually do our reservations for tickets. If I buy the JR Pass online, I can do all the reservations on my phone, which is probably right now, hands down, the best reason to get the JR Pass online specifically, is that you're able to actually do the reservations online on your phone versus having to go and buy the tickets at the station and do the train purchase there. So, but I think it is pushing the boundaries of what we actually want to pay for a train pass, mostly because we know that it would be cheaper to do it, or like majority of it separate at least. Just again, the convenience factor of not having to drag 2 kids out to the station or send one of us out and leave someone behind with the kids is like way too much. Because basically I can reserve do the JR Pass here and then reserve all of our seats when, like as soon as I buy the pass. I don't even have to exchange it in Japan beforehand. So obviously with the caveat of like, as long as your plane arrives on time. That was still like the biggest hustle. I cannot believe that when I went in November, I got through Narita in like 45 minutes. Not that it took Caroline and I much longer in May either. But yeah, you're in like a central hub airport and you get through in 45 minutes. It was insane. The thing that took the longest was still the luggage, because I had pre-done all my like QR codes to actually access and everything like that. Although there was a guy beside me who's like, I need to get transferred across this to the domestic terminal and get on another plane in 45 minutes, which meant he had to go through security and everything. And I'm like Godspeed, man. That is a tight connection. Actually, I think he was still standing there once I had gotten my bags. Bag. I guess it was only one bag on that trip. Well, no, come here. Don't slide off. Okay, so basically what we're doing right now is I am pre-wedging the wedge. And then we're going in and measuring the pockets up from the wedge so that they are not in the wedge when I sew it. and then we're sewing them to the interior. This is the first step for sewing the actual pockets, and then we go in and we yeah, okay, that's right. That is right. I just had a momentary panic of like, is this matching up with the bags that I'm actually sewing or what? But yes, the paper airplane caps are getting a beige pocket. Then hopefully I have something blue around here for the blue pockets that are next. And I do see it. There's the Sakura fabric on a blue background right here to use. Not that this is going to be perfect again. Like I said, there'll be chaos at the end when I'm like trying to match them back up, but at least I can mostly match lining to pockets right now. Also, somehow it is February and somehow it is raining here right now. And I'm like, ooh. That is not good. Like, it's February. We should be getting snow. At least it's moisture, but yeah. I don't like it. Do not like. Also because it's like now it's going to freeze overnight and everything's just going to be covered in a skiff of ice everywhere again. I actually ran outside yesterday because the paths had dried up enough, and now it's like, oh, well, that's not going to happen again for a while because ice is the enemy. Realistically, these should line up, and then I'm able to maybe put the pocket based on that and then just measure the other side. Does that work? Yeah, so actually the only drawback to everyone coming is that even if I wanted to, I could not justify doing like premium economy because I do not have enough air miles to fly us all premium economy. I was like kind of looking forward to that, but I'm actually looking forward more to bringing people with me. We went to the zoo the other day and it was just like they're at the right age that this would be like being able to take them to Japan would be very formative. So I think it will be a good trip. The only thing I'm like hesitant about is the whole jet lag thing. Like I don't know how they'll deal with that big a jet lag. Mostly because I have to keep them on a schedule at home where they can still go to day home and everything like that. And it's like so we weren't like typically before in the past when I've done a switch when Dallas has been at work. He also is not working any more night shifts, so it's like, well, he's gonna be supremely jet lagged before once we get there too. So I think the plan is that we'll do 2 days in Tokyo to begin with, or 2 nights. So fly in, go to Tokyo, stay in Tokyo for the night, and then I'll go buy fabric at Tomato in Nippori because that's an excellent jet lag activity. Oh, this one is really small. So I'm going to tear that or seam rip that out a little bit, and we're going to kind of center it. Why is it so much wider? That's weird. Okay. So yeah, there is a way I could make cord from the leather that I currently have, and honestly, I have been considering it. The thing about it is that the way to make cord from the leather I currently have makes square cord, and I really like the smooth round cord that I'm using in the Kato. I don't know how the round cord would work, and it would also be stretchy, I think, versus this round cord. So I don't know. It's one of those situations where it's like kind of nice to have the just stick with something, although it would be really, really, really easy to make cord out of leather. Because basically you just cut a square and then you like, it's just a spiral cut basically around the whole thing. But I don't know. I've been toying with that idea. But I don't know how I would feel about the square cord as a drawstring, personally. And I don't even know if it's something that people would notice or not, to be honest, or if it's just me that would notice it. So there's also that factor. All right, so that one, I'm gonna throw this in the bin so that we're kind of in order based on what's been sewn, and then I'm gonna throw the exteriors that those should match up with later on top. Actually, maybe that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna chain piece 2 of the pieces, and then we will throw them on top of the bag on top of the bag that we're gonna use. Oh, I'm lucky. The other thing I could do is I could just order like some backup cord off of Amazon or something like that, like a tied over cord. It's still good quality because I used it before. The other way I'm thinking is that I could go down a 0.5 millimeter. We could do 2.5 millimeter cord, which means that I'd actually get more on the spool. And what I would do there is I would get some off of Amazon, test it to see if it actually works for what we need it for, and then commit to like the wholesale amount. But yeah, actually, and then that's the other factor. I don't know if I were to cut my own cord, if it has like different sizes or what. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. So put leather cord between the canvas and the fabric. Like in the Kato bag specifically, or just in general? Okay, 1 inch. Yeah, I've thought of that too. Again, I'm like, I could make tassels too, actually, out of it, probably, if I got tassel caps. It's probably something I can do with it, but it's also just at that point where it's like, how much more do I keep just in case? Just in case I think of an idea for it, right? I'm already doing that so much with the fabric that I don't know if I need to do that with the leather. Yeah, yeah, okay, I got it now. Like in these Kato bags where it's like, or the big bag or whatever, like that too. Actually, a tassel would be kind of fun off the side of the D-ring of the Kato bag. You know, I usually just trust that on a wing and a prayer that is staying at the measurement it's supposed to be staying at. Actually, the best way to use it up would be if I start doing anything with piping, I could actually put it in to the casing for piping. Because realistically then, because when you do piping, you have to have some sort of rope that you wrap the fabric around if you're making piping yourself, and that's how piping is made. So that would be something to think of, although it's quite a large diameter, I guess, so maybe not. mostly I feel like, no, I am probably set for the amount of stuff I'm keeping around. Just realized I'm actually going out in public today, so I probably should go for a quick shower before I go out in public. Probably should have gone for a quick shower before I came on, but you can't tell how greasy my hair is on camera. It's not that greasy, but it is a couple runs deep, so maybe time to wash it. Actually, I saw the best thing. So I always, because I've got curly hair, I've got a lot of wisps, and with like the baby regrowth and all of that, I've still got like quite a bit of postpartum hair that's still working its way through growing back out. And I saw the best thing from one of the runners I follow on Instagram the other day is she has a hair wax stick, and then she waxes her hair down, and I'm like, that is genius. So I'm gonna have to try that, because it's like, I use bobby pins, but obviously hair slips out of bobby pins constantly, so having a hair wax to just kind of hold everything in place, especially for longer runs. It doesn't have to be every day, but for longer runs and for like actual races and stuff like that, I probably want something like that. It would actually probably speed me up, so I'm not having to like not fixing my hair constantly, to be honest, would be the big benefit to it. So, all right, let's see here. Measure it out. Now the last step that this will need is that I'll actually need to make the pockets. So that will happen a little bit later. I'm gonna open up my pop so I get some caffeine, have a drink. So I'm just gonna mute the mic here for a moment. All right, next. About to say that like once I'm done pockets like this, I will be like halfway done, but actually, yeah, I guess it's about halfway done, maybe, kinda. There's a lot of steps to these bags that I always forget about, and a lot of time I do say it's like I'm halfway done, and then it's like, no, you're maybe a third of the way done. Only feels like you're halfway done. Do love these bags though. So there is that. Am I supposed to actually be cutting around these? No, I'm supposed to be drawing the lines on. Maybe we'll bring out the area erasing marker next, but for now this works. Good. Not quite good. Good. all the pockets, all the pockets, all the pockets. Actually, once we do pockets, then we can do, well, okay. After this, we need to actually cut webbing. Then we can start the assembly of the interiors and exteriors. And I could technically do the interiors as soon as I do pockets. However, I think that if I did that, I would end up being like, we're going to put the exteriors together, and then I would forget all of the webbing and all of the D-rings, and there would be actual chaos because I'd have to be seam ripping everything. So I think the next big step we'll do is we will actually get the webbing and D-rings done. Okay, this needs to scoot down. Get down there. There we go. There we go. All right, now we are off sequence for pockets versus bags. I know this one is getting a blue. Yeah. Alice with the blue dress and the red mushrooms is getting a blue pocket set. Like this. Oh, right. And then this is getting taken off and put down with the other ones. Then we're going to shuffle this way. Cut it. I'm like, wait, we're going to double check this to see first. Yeah, we're good. All right. And we're also going to trim it a bit because it is actually too wide. And that means that the pockets aren't going to fit properly if it's too wide. So we'll trim this down this way. There. That should be better. And then the pockets will fit on the bag better, etc., etc., etc. We're good. The only thing that popped into my head there was Genie in Aladdin. I've thought of that and I've tried to do that and I have not figured out a way to do it yet. It's been actually a request for the small, like the wedge bags for a while. So the thing I was thinking is like I could do a wedge bag with like a pocket divider in the middle or like a fabric divider in the middle. But then how, like, because of the shape of the wedge bag, yeah, I don't know how it would work yet. It's still something that I've been trying to figure out how to do. Although I do think that might be the second best option versus pockets. I think it might actually be the better option versus pockets, is to be able to add a divider down the center. I did see a drawstring bag with what I wanted the other day, but I could not, well, they didn't have a pattern. I couldn't figure out how to reverse engineer it. So it's there. I do think I need to bring back that size and shape because I know, well, I've had a lot of requests for it to return. So like I said, I'm just trying to figure out if I zhuzh it up a little bit like that or if I just keep it plain Jane. And this really is only a factor for shows because realistically I could put up custom orders for it online with the zhuzhed up like pockets and stuff like that or dividers. So it might just be that I need to like search under different like search terms or something like that because I'm sure there's a pattern for something like that out there. And then it's like, do I also make it the same size as I was making previously, or do I kind of put it in between the two sizes of the large wedge bag and the small wedge bag? Because that is an option too. That would be fairly easy to like accomplish. Although the large wedge bag was a pain in my butt to cut out of whole cloth, so I don't know yet. what would be fun with that then is like the divider could actually be maybe made out of the exterior fabric, and that would be, could potentially be really fun. So, okay. I am into confetti fabrics, and I am not into confetti fabric cuts. So, oh, okay. You are a dark, okay, so this one's got black pockets, so it's going to need to be black stitched in, so that'll be done later. Where maybe we should do these random batik ones actually, because they are very random and very specific. And I have part of those bags up here. Where are they in the pile? Let's see if I can find them in the pile. If I can't, not a big deal, whatever. Ugh. Okay, so let's go through one more time and pair these all up so that I can just go through and sew them together. Okay, so this is going with Alice. It's just getting popped on top there for now. I'm pretty sure this Black Cats is a blue. I know this one, oh, this one was a beige, but not a beige on beige. Yeah, and I think that would make it most useful is making it actually a pocket, because then you would end up with like, okay, so we're gonna still beige with white here for this one, because then you basically have a notions pouch built into the bag. So the thought process then is that it would be a one sewn into the side seams, and then the cakes would go here. But actually, it would be better if it was like width, like wedge-wise in some ways. So that's kind of what the style of pattern I'm looking for, is one that has a wedge-wise divider. And then I can always, like, even if I find one with a pocket or a just an insert, that's fine. Then I can reverse engineer a pocket, zip pocket from that easily enough. What? Oh, right, we put confetti with this one. Why is there only one confetti here? You'd think I'd have my stuff together, but it just is not meant to be. At least not right now. Oh well. Okay, what I really want to find is I want to find the cosmetic cats with the like little compacts, because they'll get this batik here. It's like one of the ones I want to finish. That's top of my list for to finish too. Just the Cats on Ivory is going to be a white pocket, I'm sure. Yeah, I guess it doesn't need to actually be a zipper pocket. It could just be like an open pocket, or maybe a pocket with a snap actually, because then that would allow a little bit more of a flexibility in the bag itself. Yeah, with a snap would be good. Just a little bit easier access for the inside of a bag and all of that jazz. Okay, this was supposed to be beige. No, I don't know what that one was supposed to be actually. And I don't remember what Sassy Cat and Cosmetics was supposed to be either. The dogs are blue, and they're already top stitched, so I don't need to worry about them. Pretty sure this Alice is another blue one as well, because of the dress. Okay. Royal Cat is a beige lining, so that tells me that's going to be white pockets like this. Okay, and then pack of palms are going to be, we're going to say they're going to be beige pockets on the white background. Okay, there's Cosmetic Cat with the batik. So there's that one. That's the most unique one, so it's easy to identify. Okay. And then this is one of the ones with the batik pockets because it also had a batik drawstring. It's the More Cats. Go. And then we have Rainy Day Polar Bears, and that's also going to be this heart batik pockets. There we go. Okay, we're getting down to the easier to figure out ones now. Kind of, anyway. Okay. So the Sneaky Floral Cats is going to be blue. Okay, so I've got confetti and we've got blue left. So that's blue. And okay, so how many potential blues do we have left? So Sassy Cat here is going to be this blue as well, as far as I know. And that makes sense that the retro cosmetics with the black cat is going to be the confetti. It's got a lot of bright colors on the outside. Also excellent contrast against the beige. And then trains. I think the trains will be good with a blue pocket. Yep, and then we got 2 more confetti pockets for the last 2 Shibas. Perfect, that's what we're going to go with. Okay, confetti and confetti. And I really want a snack, but I'm going to go for ramen tonight. So, and I'm going for ramen soon. Alrighty. Last few bags. I should have counted how many pockets I actually had. We're not doing that to myself today. Alright. There's the liner. There's the bag. I'm going to put the bag in and then we're going to throw the lining on top with its pocket. Okay. Good, I think, right? Yep. Sweet. So we're going to trim this down, do the wedge, sew the pockets. That sounded like I need to put some oil in my shears. Eek. Squeaky, squeaky. Alright. My chair is also like, you need to oil me too. Oil me. I should probably also check my sewing machine oil and see if it needs to be swapped or not too. Eventually. Go. Now we can go in and sew this down. Go. Good. And good. yeah, Dallas is reorganizing the garage because when we moved in, we basically threw it together the best we could, sort of thing. But we were really looking at it the other day, and we're like, we could move all the shelves from behind the truck and give the truck some extra space, and like be able to also hang all my grid wall and like grid wall legs actually. Oh, sorry, let's move this up so that's actually facing my mouth. Anyway, could do it so that the legs and like actual grid wall was that word, vertical versus horizontal, which will make hanging the grid wall significantly easier. So he's out. That's his chore this weekend, is getting everything moved around in the garage as much as possible. And it's nice enough to do it too, so may as well take advantage. Okay. All right, that goes in the, oh, right. I'm gonna pull this set of pockets out and put it with the one that's underneath, Shiba's. Now we can go into this and trim it down. We're getting closer and closer to finishing the first stitching line on the pockets. And now after this, we go in and we actually sew the pockets and make the pockets basically. We'll see how long it takes me to get the rest of this, because I am meeting a friend for dinner and I need a little bit of prep time for that. So there we go. What time is it? 20 to 4. So I think I said I'd be on until about 4:30, and that's about right. And actually that'll be about right for finishing off these pockets probably too, or at least getting them installed onto the interior fabric. And then we'll work on getting them pocketed tomorrow, Monday. That'll be my reward after doing tax work or something like that. Because as much as I say that my desk isn't tidy, I can clear off the one behind me and use it for doing my taxes. So I should get them done. There we go. I did freak out the other day because I was like compiling everything basically, because of course I had to gather up. I never have everything completely in place. I usually have like, I don't know, 90% of it, but I didn't know where my Japan receipts were. So there was some large panic there about, I need those for my like inventory basically, because it's all my fabric receipts even. I found them, but not without like half an hour of like, oh, where did I put them? But I tucked them into our storage room, because they're basically on the top of a bin, and I know that the kids had gone into the bin and like thrown them all around. So a friend was like, you know, if you take photos of them, that's like legally allowable as well. Like, okay, that's good to know, because like it's not necessary, like obviously I didn't lose them, but the kids could, if they get their hands on them, destroy them, and that would be bad. So I'm gonna start taking photos of my receipts, especially travel receipts, because that was the main suggestion from her, was travel receipts, because it's like then if you lose them, you're not like completely up the creek without a paddle. So I always forget, this is something we actually have to do on the fronts too, so is the wedging, and it does make it easier just to do it before I even sew it together. So we will do that next after. Oh right, after pockets we're doing webbing. That's right, I gotta dig out the heat knife and cut all the webbing for the D-rings. Why is this so wide? It doesn't need to be that wide. It's messing everything up. Okay, let's trim it down on both sides, or at least one side, and then I can retrim my wedging, because like that is too wide. It does not. Yeah, no, that's like an inch too wide. Okay, there we go. That should be better. Now we'll, oh yeah, look at how much that took off of the wedge here. It's like, itsy bitsy now. Oh no. That's okay. We can trim down the wedge really easy this way. There we go. Down here. There we go. Add it to the pile. Pop this over here. Go. Alright. Still not perfect, but definitely better. And we can adjust that when we're actually sewing it together too. There we go. And my ruler, of course, fell off. Okay, come here. It's like way over here. Alrighty. Ooh. Come here. There we go. All right. Actually, that would be a fun way to do those things, is to get the Cricut to cut out the, sorry, I was thinking about the scrap cats again. I just saw them as I leaned over to get everything. You could get it to cut it out of the interfacing, adhere it to the fabrics, scraps that you have. No, that's a lot of work. I'm like, I was starting to list it out and I'm like, no, that's a lot of work. Never mind. Okay, there's that one. I'm gonna have a little bit more pop again. Better, I think. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, okay, 15 more. I thought we were a lot closer to the end than 15. So we'll see. We may not get all of these installed before I need to head out. Whatever. I'll still be ahead of where I was when I started installing pockets earlier, so that's good too. Zip up here, then Why are these cuts so large? They're way too large. I don't get it. Okay. So here's the thing. I do cut the interiors to the, especially the width, to the width that I'm supposed to have. What changes between the bags and like when I'm doing the cuts from the large box bags down to the Kato is the height, not the width. I do not understand why these are so wide. They don't need to be this wide. Also, why is this with the charcoal and not the black? Oh well, I've got more of this set aside for more Kato, so we'll be doing a lot of Kato bags from it because that's what I feel like making from it right now. But that'll look really good with the black bottom too. Okay, that should be better. Significantly better. And most of what I'm worried about is because then it'll throw off the pocket placement and then the pockets may not get caught when I go to sew it, and then I'll have to go back in and re-sew it, and this could end up in this like infinite loop of repairs and timeouts between shows until I no longer make bags. That's not anytime soon, hopefully. There's banging happening upstairs, and I have a feeling it's one of the toddlers banging stuff around, like show display stuff around. Guys, that's what's gonna get you sushi in Japan. Respect. Okay, I gotta scoot down just a tick. And it looks like scoot up a tick. I did figure out, or I did find a YouTube tutorial for a reversible drawstring bag. I'm super excited about that because it's I just realized I really do need to go for a walk today eventually. I'll do that after I get home probably. Anyway, words, thoughts, stuff. Oh, a reversible drawstring bag. Because I always am in awe of those, but it was actually super straightforward, and I've got a bunch of those cuts from the original small wedge bags that just, like, because I'm redesigning the wedge bag, I'll just make them into something else. And these are going to be cute. I'm excited about trying it out at least, so that might actually be something that we try out. I might try it out tonight off camera and see if I can sew it together or not, because the one problem with it being reversible is that, again, that leads to analysis paralysis of like, what fabrics go together the best. Now that I'm talking about it, I really want to do it right now because I've got a few things, I've got a few set aside specifically to make this bag with. But since we're doing pockets, we're going to stick with pockets. Stick with one thing. Don't switch tasks. And now these pockets, my goodness, those kiddos are, I think, getting towards the end of their patience. I'm gonna just hear how that something about the stroller. Alrighty. Okay, that looks like it's still too wide as well. Let's just double check it against a piece. No. Go. go. Alright, sorry that there's some radio silence. I'm kind of getting towards the end of my social energy for today, apparently. And I slept in today, technically, by like an hour, but I'm still tired. Well, I slept in, but our youngest was up a few times last night, so that's probably part of it. It's kind of like the first time they woke up and they're like, I want water. And it's like, okay, here's your water bottle right here. They rolled over, went back to sleep. And then, like, I swear, like, 10 minutes later, they woke up again. And I'm like, I just brought them to our bed because it's like, okay. Probably could have resettled them in their bed. But I knew for sure that if I brought them to my bed, they were going to sleep. And I needed to sleep. So that's what we did instead. But I don't think that that leads, even if you were technically sleeping, I don't know how restful of a sleep it is. And I charge my watch at night, so I don't actually leave it on for a charge or to see what my sleep patterns are. It'd probably be extremely disappointing right now, I guess might be the best term for it. Alright, we're down to 13 bags. Ha ha ha. Actually, I just realized I should double check to make sure that OdaFest hasn't like emailed me back and be like, hey, you're off the wait list. Let's see. No, I'm on the wait list. That's okay. All right. We'll just trim this up here so that it's even and mostly straight, and then we'll cut it in half. All right, I think I am going to wrap up after this pocket and actually go get ready to go. Because, like I said, I forgot that I should probably shower. And then, and we both like to eat early, so given that we're both hungry early. So I'll finish up this blue pocket here, and then we'll be down to 13 bags to install pockets on. And we'll see what happens tonight. I'll probably come down and do a little bit of sewing just as an experiment. And then tomorrow I won't be on because we are going probably the CJCA, which is the Calgary Japanese Canadian Association, is hosting their Mamemaki and Mochi party. Mamemaki is in February. You throw roasted beans at an oni or out your front door to like chase away the bad spirits of last year and welcome in a new year, basically. So they're having that tomorrow, and I actually never participated in one when I was on exchange, but I figured this would be a good opportunity for the kids to participate in it, and my husband and all that. So I think we're gonna go do that tomorrow, and then we'll see kind of what happens for work tomorrow, although I doubt I'll be doing much. And then I'll be on Monday afternoon after I've done some like paperwork stuff. In the morning, and then I get to come do the fun stuff in the afternoon. So, all right, there we go. That's where we're gonna call it for today. I hope you guys all have a fantastic evening. If I do come back on, I'll be announcing it on Instagram, but I would lean towards I won't be back on until probably Monday. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will chat with you really soon.